Good morning, everybody. So today I'm starting a new little mini series of videos. I'm not sure what I'm going to call these yet. I guess it'd be in the title when I decided. It's basically going to be so on a Thursday night, I go off to my local board games club. I go on my own. Bear doesn't come. She's not that keen on games that she will come to a board game club, which is kind of what our video series is all about, really. Gamer versus not quite a gamer, and finding games that will sort of satisfy both of us and won't be too kind of heavy. Anyway, long story short, not. On a Thursday, I go to my Chippenham board game club, Chippenham, North Wiltshire. That's where we kind of congregate, and we play games there that, well, all sorts of games obviously, but some games I don't own and some games I can't play with Bear because they're too complicated, or because they play at a higher player count. So games that are minimum 3 players, things like that. And I thought, well, actually, why don't I do a little kind of mini series? So on a Friday, once I played a game on a Thursday night, and then come talk to you guys about it on a Friday. So some games that will be more than 2 players, some games that will be, they will play at 2 players, but we just don't own them, so we haven't played them. And so I can share those experiences with you and explain to you whether I enjoyed the game, because there are some games that I play there that are absolutely fantastic, and I never talk about them on here because we don't play them, or we haven't played them, or we don't own them. And so I'm going to start this mini-series. So hopefully I'll do one every Friday. It may include a couple of games that we played on the Thursday night before. It may be just one game. I may split them up. I don't know, but we'll see how we go. So this is the beginning of that series, and we're going to start with my very first game that we don't own. And you'll be surprised at this. And we've never played, but we played it last week. So this game is a very popular game. They say it's kind of entry level. I don't think it is. Quite sort of complicated and in depth, really, if you're going to try and bring it as a kind of an introductory game. But anyway, the game is Wingspan. So we played Wingspan, and I have to say I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was really good. I've not played it mainly because, well, A, we don't own it, and B, I wasn't sure if it would play well at 2. I think it does. Again, we played it as a 4. But anyway, let me just explain quickly what it is. So it's kind of hand management, drafting, set collection, and I think it really is an engine building game as well. Doesn't say that on Board Game Geek, but it really is. And basically what you're trying to do is collect sets of birds that live in different environments. So waterlands, countryside, trees, that kind of thing. So they have different environments, and you collect those birds into sets. And as you collect those sets, they give you special bonuses, hence the engine building. So you've got this little board that you're playing on. Everyone else does as well. There's an array of cards that you can select from when you choose to buy cards. And you buy cards by placing an action. So it's a worker placement game as well. Didn't mention that. So again, forgive me if I'm sort of speaking not massively with great authority about this game, because, as I say, I only sort of played it once, in fact, and I didn't teach it to anybody. I learnt it there and then. But anyway, so it's just my impression of the game. So you have a certain number of workers, and you place them on your little board when you want to play, and you can either lay a card, which goes into your array, and that's part of your set collection, scores you points at the end of the game. And when you play that worker, it does what you do, and then it slides down to the left and it's used. And then you can do the same thing. You can buy eggs. You say buy eggs, but you don't get eggs. You don't buy them. You just place your worker there and you obtain them. And you place those eggs on your birds that are able to host those eggs. So each bird has a kind of egg value. Again, that's something else. There's resources you can buy, not buy, but worker place to get resources. Resources are kind of grubs and fruit and corn and things like that you feed your birds, because your birds need feeding. When you place a bird, you place the resources that it costs to place those. That's kind of feeding them. That's what they feed on. So some of the bonuses at the end of the game say if you've got a bird, if you've got, say, 5 birds that feed on corn, you get a certain bonus, that kind of thing. Anyway, so you place your worker, slide it down, that's done, goes around the table, everybody does the same thing, and you place your next worker, carry out the action, slide it down. And when you're in the first column, you have sort of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 columns, I think, something like that. When you're in your first column, it's all free, and you just place your worker and slide one to the left, and you're done. And you do that for all your, I think it was 5 workers we had. And you do that all around the table 4 times, and that's the game done. So you sort of 20 placements, if you like. And when you go to the next column, so there may be a cost. So it may cost you something to do that. So I can't remember whether it's 1 or 2 eggs for the next column, or whether that's free. And then but it costs you eggs, so you have to take eggs off your bird that you've placed to pay those prices to move up the columns. But the reason you do that is because, apart from building your sets and your collections, when you place your worker, you place it in the far rightmost column that you can in that section, and then you carry out that action. So let's say it's get eggs, you place your worker, you get, say, 3 eggs, and then you move to the left onto the bird that is next to the left, down to the left. So I stop saying the left, and you carry out the action on that bird. So it may be place an egg on every bird with this nest or something like that. So you do that, and then you go to the left again. So this is why I say it's an engine building game, because the further to the right you place your workers, and you have to place them next to the bird that you've got, nesting there, the further to the right, every time you go there, you then play to the left and play all those powers as well. And some of those are very powerful powers. So you're building this engine to kind of, I'm going to do that, and that's my go, rather than just that and that's my go. Really clever, really lots to choose from, lots to decide what to do. You're never really blocked from anything. Apart from, one of the things that you can do is select resources, and you do that by, there are a set of 5, I think it was, dice, big chunky dice, that have the resources on them. You put them in the little bird feeder tower, like birdhouse dice tower, and they roll out and they come up at whatever they are. So you might have 2 grubs and 2 corn and a cherry, say, and you can select those from the resources. And what you do is, obviously, you say, I'm gonna get resources this go. I'll put my worker there, and I'll grab, and you look at the dice, I'll grab a corn. You take that dice out of the resource pool, and then you take the resource itself, the corn, and put it into your supply. And then you use that later on to buy or place birds, and so on and so on. Very blocky on that, I guess, in as much as you can take what you think somebody else is likely to take. The good thing is that when it gets down to the last one, you re-roll those dice again, and you can go again. So yeah, really nice mechanisms, really nice balance of play. As I say, this was my first game playing it as a 4-player game. I was last as it goes, but I think I had 89, the next player had 92, the next one had 94, and the winner had 95. So we were spread sort of 6, 7, 8 points between us for first and last place in a 4-player game, which obviously goes to show what a great balanced game it is, because we were all going for different sort of strategies about how to win. Fabulous game. The artwork's lovely, although I didn't really I did pay attention to it, because some of the names are really funny as well, so they make you chuckle, and you sort of have a bit of a banter with the other players. So really nice game. Artwork, presents on the table, big chunky dice, the really nice dice tower birdhouse thing. Really good game. And then you get some end bonuses, cards as well, that you kind of secret bonus objectives. There's another little sort of round score as well. So there's and they randomly come out, so they're different every game. So at the end of each round, when you've all placed your workers all the way round, and that's 1 round done, then there's a kind of bonus. Okay, anyone who's got this kind of nest on any of their things, you score 1 point for each of those nests, and the person with the highest score, so Joe might have 4, Jack might have 3, I might have 1, they would get the highest bonus on that end of round bonus, and then Jack would get the second, I get the last, and there are points for that as well. So you can kind of aim for, I think I'm going to get the most of that nest, or the most eggs on this type of bird, whatever the bonus is, and you can see what it is coming. So you can try and aim for those bonus points as well, and they kind of go up. I think the first one was 4, and then it was 5, and then 6, and then 7, and then 14, or something like that. So getting first place in those was quite a kind of game swinger, that you could kind of, I've got the big bonus at the end of the round. So yeah, lots going on, which is why I say it's not necessarily a introductory game, but fairly simple. If you've played games, fairly simple. I can't wait to explain it to Bear actually and try and get her to play it, because I think it probably will play well at 2, and it will be really nice, and she'll enjoy it because she likes worker placement, and it is quite strategically clever, but not, you know, you're not doing your bouncing. So there we go. That's my gut reactions, if you like, on Wingspan. So I might call this series Gut Reactions, because, as I say, it's not me bringing a game or explaining it to you that I know. It's a game that was introduced to me last night in our club. So yeah, anyway, so there we are. My first thoughts on Wingspan, a game that I should have played probably years ago. Seems to be one of the most popular games in the last couple of years, and I've never got it. Well, I've never been to a table where it's been at till last night. So there we go. So I'm so glad that who was it brought it? Justin brought it last night, but he didn't play it, weirdly. But yeah, so I'm so glad that he brought it and we played it. Wingspan, big thumbs up from me, and we'll see. Put in the comments below that you want Bear to play it, or that she should play it, because that would encourage her to actually, oh yeah, we'll have to go and buy it. Okay guys, thanks very much. Hopefully you'll like this new series. As I say, I'll just do one every Friday if I got time, for the previous Thursday night's games, and if they're not part of our remit, if you like, so games that don't fit into our normal strategy. Not that we've got a strategy, but you know what I mean. Okay, so hopefully this has been helpful for you. If you've never played Wingspan, go check it out. It's really worth a good try out. Thank you very much, and we'll see you on the next one. Give us some suggestions again if you want any of these reviewed by me and Bear, and I'll see you on the next review. Thanks people, see you again.